Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, episode 23, and somehow John murdered Paul, and Paul's not here, and he has his vest now. So you murdered that man and stole his vest. Ladies and gentlemen, playing the part of Paul this week as Paul, J.R. Moore.
It's weird how this vest smells like a fajita.
We can't make Mexican jokes when Paul's not here, guys. It's not.
Oh, I thought Paul was here.
I can't. No. We can't do like taco jokes. That's not good.
We can't make all the taco jokes.
I think then we're just racist.
Yeah. Then it's when Paul's here, it's fine because he's full
totally
Mexican.
Right.
Paul has the most Mexican name of all time. Other than Salma Hayek, Paul Dominguez is the most Mexican name you could ever have, for sure.
Oh, man.
So playing the part of Paul, he's not here as producer JR. He is playing the part of Paul today, ladies and gentlemen. And Mr. JR Moore, the producer in silence, who you never see unless you follow literally anything I do in my life separately from this podcast. Here he is. And
maybe
he's in a
they're
house with no kids.
Maybe they're just fans of the podcast only. They don't even know you play in a band. They're just like huge fans of the podcast. Does that exist?
Yeah, I think we have podcast fans. I really do think we have podcast fans that are outside that have just found it through like other comedian friends who have talked about it. And I think that there are a couple. I don't know. I wouldn't say there's over a dozen, but there's definitely people who are. And that's
there's a sturdy 9 people for sure.
Yeah,
Real sturdy.
That's why I said not over a dozen.
Did you say sturdy 9 people?
Yeah, sturdy.
Sturdy 9 people.
For a minute, I thought you said you were going to say 39, but you mispronounced it.
No, you said sturdy 9. Strictly 9 people. Well, we don't talk about Shinedown a lot either on here.
That's what we're talking about because Barry said on the bus one day, he's like, I've never listened to your podcast because you never asked me to be on it. And I said, well, John goes, that's because we don't talk about Shinedown ever. And I go, yeah, it's like going to work on your day off, right? Like, I don't want to talk about Shinedown on here all the time. That's not really fun for me.
But we should talk about your new movie coming out, though, because that is pretty cool.
Yes, we should talk about the new movie, which, by the way, by the time
it's Poltergeist 6.
Yeah, by the time this podcast comes out, the film will be up for pre-order today is Monday, and it's up for pre-order right now, as I just found out at a fire drill as I was on the phone when you guys got on this. So
it's debuting at the Paris Theater down on Summer, right?
Yeah. It's RIP to the Paris Theater. Hey, you know something funny? Remember when we were younger? All three of us are close to the same age. I mean, JR's now I'm not the oldest one on the podcast this week, which is nice.
Hey, shut your mouth. I'm the youngest.
You could tell JR struggles with being himself and then trying to fit into this podcast. He almost said the F word. So when I was a kid, I remember when Paul, I don't remember his last name, but Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah, Paul Rubens.
Paul Rubens, yeah. Sorry.
Yes, when he got busted.
Got busted for, I remember he was pleasuring himself in an adult theater.
Like you do?
Because it happened when we were younger, I always thought it was the Paris Theater. And every time we drove by the Paris... Did you?
Yes. Okay. I just thought it was local. I was like, what's he doing in town? But wow, amazing.
I wasn't even that. I was just like, this has to be the only one of these places that exists in the world.
Where else could this be?
What's the history of this theater? Like, why is this?
It's like the old school adult.
Oh.
I mean, it was there for 30 years.
Let's look it up.
Yeah, it was. And so it was the old school, like when, in the 70s when they had adult movie premieres, like in theaters, like this was that. And then it became like, the scuzzy, bad part of town adult movie theater still happening, and then they recently it just fully got, I think, torn down, right? And then
it did. Okay, I got a little background on it though.
All right,
the Lucian Theater was gutted and converted into a bowling alley after it closed. Later, it became the Paris Adult Theater, so it was a proper theater back in the day. It was called the Lucian Theater. It opened in 1939. In 1966, it was turned into a nightclub, but by the 70s, the neighborhood had changed and it was sold to the Paris Adult Group for adult movies.
Hell yeah.
There you go. In the 70s.
That's where you found Sean Zorn, your drummer, correct?
Yes.
He was right. He was there actually refilling the butter for the popcorn.
We'll throw in
He's the butter man.
We'll throw in a photo of the adult. Sean looks like a butter man.
Sean's the butter man.
Right. He doesn't even work there though. He just does the butter.
They don't pay him. It's volunteer work. Like, we don't even sell popcorn.
in our group text the other day, I sent a photo of me and some random kid that I got tagged in. And I said, oh, look, this is me and Sean Zorn in the 80s. And it's me as an adult that I am now, but with a kid that looked exactly like a tiny version of Sean Zorn.
Oh yeah, I just pre-ordered Attention. That's badass.
Oh, that's cool. I haven't had time because I was talking to the singer of my band that I'm in for. There's no short phone calls with Brent Smith, ladies and gentlemen, as we all know. Those don't exist. Brent Smith, ladies and gentlemen, though, a fan of the podcast, as he's let us know. He's listened to the podcast more than anyone else in the band. My bass player doesn't even follow me on Instagram, so that's how well.
Yeah, but
that's how well our relationship's going right now.
I don't think.
Go ahead, John.
I don't think Eric even follows the podcast he's a part of.
Yeah, he does.
Does he?
He said he followed me probably for sports reasons. Because I start going during basketball season. I guarantee you it wasn't that. I guarantee you I talked about something political and he unfollowed me. I guarantee it.
I'm into it either way. I'm into it either way. I love the.
Well, that's the thing is Eric and I's relationship. Look, everybody in our band is obviously really close, and we talk all the time. I think to keep our relationship good, Eric was just like, I'm going to unfollow you on Instagram.
Right. Well, he actually got off social media for a little bit too.
He deleted his Instagram completely for a while. Yeah.
Right. Kelly's no longer got rid of her off social media. Got rid of the horses studio.
Just got rid of everything.
I'll say though, if you're gonna delete, if there's a social media platform you're going to delete, it seems like Instagram would be the last one. Like.
It's the least political.
It's the least political. You're just most of the time looking at pictures of people's kids, their food, or like them trying to make you think their life is awesome. And so I don't know what would be the offensive thing on Instagram. They're like, you know what? You're my friend, but you overdo this so much, I can't follow you anymore.
I'm a little offended that you explained my entire Instagram in 3 subject matters, but
that's what it is. And so
that's
of all things,
the only 3 things I post.
That's exactly right. That's all you do. That's all anybody does.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like Twitter, I can understand it, or even Facebook. Like if you're going to get rid of Facebook, I can totally understand that. But like Instagram seems like the most harmless one, as far as like adult men go. If you're a teenage girl, I can see where you get rid of Instagram.
I gotta put my phone down more, man. I'm staring at Instagram so much. I feel like in the last 4 months, like. I feel like I'm always on it. Like anytime I open my phone, I check it, which is like, I don't know. I'm not a fan of that. I don't like having like an addiction like that. You know, I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I'm not a
just
fan
sex.
That algorithm's just getting him. He goes to that search tab and it's just like, oh, this is everything I want to see.
But I never really look through the search tab. I literally just scroll through my feed and see the same pictures over and over.
I don't know how you do that.
It's so annoying.
I scroll through my feed and I'm like, who are these people? What am I doing?
Here's the thing. Oh, when I look at my search tab, every man search tab for some reason has titties on it. Even if that's not what we search. I don't search people.
They just know.
They just know.
They just
know.
Dude,
my search Steven tab Spielberg's on titties. What? Okay. That's what I got ET out of.
Oh, dude, we have a great photo of Chris Allen as ET on the.
Shut the. Are you serious?
Not purposely. He doesn't mean to look like ET.
It's just for some reason during COVID when all of our bodies looked like garbage, Chris Allen looked like a melted ice cream cone.
It was just
he looked like he had jaundice dying on the riverbed.
Very, very unfortunate picture of him. That's what it was.
It's not great. It's not great. And then now when he calls Jacob in our group text, that picture shows up. I believe, and Zach Smith actually. I think that's the photo that shows up for Zach Smith. By the way, shout out.
When he
Shout
calls
out
me,
to Jacob and Zach Smith and Chris Allen for catching the vid, ladies and gentlemen. They caught it.
I was wondering what person got
it. When Chris Allen calls me, it's a picture of him in that Camille Toe Halloween costume.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
That's
pretty great. We're gonna have to put that in there. This will have to go in the thing. So all right. So I had we always talk about like the Seinfeld things that happen in my life. I wasn't involved in it. I was only involved secondhand, but I had a very Ryan, my brother-in-law, had a very Seinfeld thing happen to him the other night when I was on my fishing trip at 2 a.m. Ryan went down to Memphis.
Why were you fishing at 2 o'clock in the morning?
I wasn't fishing. I was on a
catfishing.
I was catfishing. Yeah. I actually made a new Latrell Sprewell Instagram. I was trying to get some endorsements. Look, man. Hey. I need tickets to see Styx somehow.
That's exactly
I
right.
I don't know
The
anybody
real
in the Styx tent.
the real Jeremy Wade from Memphis, Tennessee.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Bryant Reeves, Big Country from the Memphis
Big
Grizzlies.
country. God.
Just take some weird like. Yeah, I started an Instagram as Stroll Mile Swift, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna be great.
Bonze Wells has got different hair now. I think.
He didn't have
Bonzi
any
Wells?
hair.
Yeah, but he looks like he looks like Zach now, though.
I honestly.
Nobody looks like this,
Wells.
dude.
Bonzi Wells. Did you know he just became the coach of the community college in Memphis?
I saw that. That's why
did
the
not
name was
know
in
that.
my head. Yeah.
Lemoyne Owen.
Oh, shout out to Bonzi. All right,
Like
cool.
the day that Rasheed Wallace got named the coach or the assistant for the Tigers,
Yeah.
Bonzi got announced as Lemoyne Owen's head
Hold
coach,
on.
and they're going to
Detroit
Rasheed Wallace from that Rasheed Wallace. Ball don't lie. Rasheed Wallace is
Detroit Tigers baseball coach now. Yes.
Detroit. He's Penny's third assistant on the Tigers, and then Bonzi Wells is the coach of Lemoyne Owen Community College in Memphis, and Rasheed and Bonzi are going to live together in Memphis.
Stop.
In
You're
the same
making this
house.
up.
I'm not
You're making this up.
They're going to live together so that they can keep recording their podcast together.
Oh, they have a
Icons.
podcast together?
Yes.
Icons,
and so both
yes.
of them are single.
Okay.
And so they're going to live together.
I was about to say, you're talking about two millionaire grown-ass
Yes.
men
They're both-
living in a house together.
Yeah, I mean, I think they both have kids in previous relationships, but they're currently single, and so therefore they're living in a house together in Memphis. Bonzi never got rid of his 901 phone number.
Hold on, let me text him. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have
He's
Bonzi's
like fully Memphis. So there we go.
I love that.
Bonzi Wells, bringing it
number.
home.
Dude, that is amazing. I did not
Isn't
know
it?
that about. I didn't know that Rasheed Wallace.
Yeah.
Here's the best kind of irony about that. A former Memphis coach known for one of the greatest free throw lines of all time, which is "You got to make your free throws." Shout out R.I.P. Larry Finch. Now we have the ball don't lie guy on the bench. So I hope he shouts that out when somebody misses a free throw.
I hope he does.
I love
amazing.
Rasheed Wallace.
Dude, Rasheed.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, sorry, I know I'm going to get to my story about my Seinfeld episode, but did anyone else watch the Malice in the Palace documentary on Netflix?
I had it pulled up
Badass.
to do it last night, and I just got too tired.
So
Loved
good.
it. Yep.
So good. It is everything you want it to be. It is Steven Jackson being Steven Jackson. It is Ben Wallace being Ben Wallace. It is Ron Meta World Peace Artest being Ron Meta World Peace Artest. It's so good. I mean, the obviously like the calmest dude is O'Neill. Like O'Neill is just kind of like pretty like, you know what I mean? I didn't realize what like a kind of the trajectory he was on to be like one of the best players in the NBA.
Yeah.
Jermaine O'Neal,
Yeah.
he was really good, and then he got derailed by
His knees, right?
injuries. Yeah, totally derailed by injuries. I don't know how it would have translated now because he's more of a traditional.
Who was the
big.
other big guy? Greg Oden too.
That was just a bad.
Yeah.
He went because he was on the same team. I met Greg.
with Conley.
Yeah, I met Greg with Mike Conley one time at Mike's birthday, and I just remember that guy like.
Chuck E. Cheese's or
Yeah, we were at Chuck E. Cheese. That guy like never had an NBA career really.
No, it never happened.
His knees just gave out from like day one.
Yep, he was
That's
always
crazy.
moved like an old man, as in like an 18-year-old.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
kind of looked like that too. He
did.
always looked like an old man. Who's the guy? Who was the one of the highest draft picks last year? Plays for the Suns.
It's DeAndre Ayton, who looks like he's
DeAndre
40. He looks like he's 41 and he's 22.
DeAndre Ayton looked all like all my friends growing up when I was in Nutbush were like black kids. Obviously, he looked like every one of my friends' dads. DeAndre Ayton is 21, 22 years old. Dude, he looked like my friend Jermaine's dad. He looked like my friend Marcus's dad.
Yeah.
He looked like my friend Marcel's dad. Like all their dads look like DeAndre Ayton.
Yep. Bonzi, I saw the speaking of back to Bonzi Wells from I remember Bonzi as a player, and he always looked super tough. And I just saw a picture of him from his introductory press conference at Lemoyne Owen, and like picture any adult black man preacher in a suit. He looks exactly like he just looks like a dad. Like he's
lost weight too.
Yeah, he totally does not look like the tough player that he was. He just looks like a nice dad in a suit.
He does, dude.
Like right after church. Like he just left church and he's going to get lunch.
Dude, he looks like he is at Piccadilly right now.
Yes, he does.
Dude,
you would never know he was this awesome
guy,
NBA player.
This guy just walked into Luby's cafeteria at 12:45.
That's exactly
as soon
right.
as church ended.
As soon as church ended. That's exactly right.
That guy's getting a catfish plate, bro. He is getting the Jello. Yeah. Dude, he does. He looks like every pastor.
That's exactly right.
At any church.
All of them.
I love
like the
that.
glasses, the glasses add to it. Like he just, yeah.
The fact that him and Rasheed Wallace are going to live together. Rasheed Wallace was supposed to be at Lemoyne's Owen. So this says Rasheed Wallace was supposed to be Lemoyne Owen coach, but Penny hired him first.
Whoa.
That's Bonzi saying that.
I mean, I believe it.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Anyway, all right, I'll get back to this wild story.
Great hawk.
It's not really, yeah, dude, that guy's, come on. That guy's swinging a hammer.
His hog has a headband. Yeah.
Which, by the way, my new business venture, Headband Hogs. Headband HOGZ. You can get them now. Get all your favorite band and NBA logos printed on them.
Oh man.
Working a ladder on your Johnson.
Oh, so Ryan, my brother-in-law, who for many years, anytime I'd post a photo with, people confused as Brent Smith, even though they look nothing alike. Went down to Memphis for I thought it was a MMA fight. It was more jiu-jitsu, Brazilian, like grappling.
Yeah. We're just rolling around hugging each other.
They just rolling around. He explained jiu-jitsu to me one time in the best way possible. He goes, my coach said it's the art of folding clothes while people are wearing them.
Oh yeah.
I was like, that's like the
really
best. Yeah.
That is okay. I actually totally understand that.
But you're still rolling around hugging men.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's your gig.
Big sweaty men.
And listen, if that's what you're into, God bless.
Yep.
So he stayed at my house. So the night after his fight, which by the way, he was pretty much winning until the last 28 seconds, he ended up losing the fight. So his night already isn't going great, right? Lost the fight. So, I get a call or a text at like 1:30 in the morning. Luckily, I'm awake. It's like, hey, your gate isn't working. Like he's trying to put in my gate code and it's not working. Like I'm well, this is the gate code. If not this, try this. He goes, no. Like he sends me a video. He's like, no, the buttons aren't working. Like I'm hitting a button. It's not making a noise. So rewind about a week ago, my little brother Sawyer is staying at my house. I guess a big storm came through town.
Yes.
Okay. So, the power went out. So the gates stopped working. Like Sawyer had to jump the fence one night, go into my garage, grab my clicker out of my car and open the gate.
Dude.
So I guess in the last week, they just left the gate open.
Yeah.
So Sawyer left with my gate thing that he said he'd bring back Monday because they were leaving the gates open. Well, so he has my gate thing. So Ryan can't get my gate thing out of my car. I didn't know that. So first I say, hey, listen, go jump the fence. Go to my house, open the garage. My gate clicker should be in my car. He's like, hey, I'm at your house. Gate clicker's not in your car. Call Sawyer. He's like, no, it's on me. I'm like, sweet. He's like, but the gates were open. The gates aren't open now. It's 1:45 in the morning. He still can't get in. So from my gate to my driveway, half a mile?
Not even that.
Yeah.
Not even?
No, not half a mile.
You can see your gate from your driveway.
Yeah. That's a quarter of a mile.
Okay, cool. So a quarter mile. Walk. So he walks what? I guess roughly a quarter mile.
It's long enough to be annoying, but not long enough to be like, oh my gosh.
It's not long enough to be annoying in the day, but it's long enough to be annoying.
Yes, at 1:45 in the morning, you're
1:45
mad.
in the morning.
Yes.
Your wife and your kids are in the car.
Yeah, you're mad. Yes.
Wife and kids are in the car.
Yeah.
So goes there, tries to find the clicker, can't find it. Goes back up, tries to punch in the gate some more times. Tries to physically open the gate because he's a very large man.
Yeah.
Can't open it. So this is where John and the rest of my band are going to make fun of me pretty hardcore because they always joke about my car. So Beth goes, hey, where's your keys? I said, they're in the house. She goes, I think Sawyer took your keys. I said, he did not take my keys. He's never even seen my keys. They're in the house. Finally, after 10 minutes of looking for my keys, their van is still up at the gate, by the way. Find my keys. He goes, hey, I'm going to drive your car up to the gate so the exit gate will open. Hopefully.
Yeah.
10 minutes before he texted me, I got an update on my phone that said, "Hey, do you want to update your car now? The system on your car."
Oh no! So your car's shut down.
So my car is updating, which my band always jokes about that it's going to start updating in the middle of my in the middle of my drive. So he's sitting there. He's like, "Well, I can't get it." I'm like, "Dude, just try to go in reverse. It should cut off." He's like, "Well, I unplugged it. It's still not doing anything." So he rides the electric bike back up there. Tries to do it again. Comes back to the car. The car's still not updating. Not done updating. Finally, at 2:10 in the morning, someone pulls up behind and has a gate clicker and opens the gate.
God.
Dude, if you knew how annoying the walk from my gate to my house is, it's so annoying, especially in the dark in the South in the summer when everything's trying to eat you and there's bug sounds. I've seen a fox outside my house a couple times in the last couple times I was home. Insanity, dude, that he had to deal with this.
That's crazy.
It's not the first gate issue he's had either, because one time when they were trying to move, and this is a constant joke that comes back up, they were trying to get out of they rented a U-Haul. They were moving out of either Beth's apartment or Leah's apartment, and the gate wouldn't open. So Ryan just crashed the gate in the U-Haul. So he fucked up the U-Haul and the gate. And dude, my wife and her sister still bring this up to him once a week.
That is amazing.
I'm glad he didn't crash my gate. That would have been great. So anyway, that's a very Seinfeld thing that happened. John, you want to tell us about your vest?
Yeah. So after the last episode, I had Paul call down to Ecuador, and his people down there put it together for me, shipped it up to me via Amazon.
They put it together for you.
The Amazon River, right?
Right. Yeah. So I guess
not Amazon Prime. They shipped it down the Amazon River.
No, it's the Amazon River up into the Mississippi
through the Panama Canal.
Yes. But in order for me to get patched into his club, I need to do some feats of whatever. So he's just started initiating me into his vest club.
I actually heard that to get the patch that's on the left side of him, you have to learn how to make tamales.
For sure. And I don't know how to make a good salsa verde, so that's definitely the lower patch over here.
Yeah, that's the big patch. You're not going to be good at that.
The lower patch.
I had it. So
you're in the middle of a hurricane right now, and now you have a tornado
warning. It's weird getting the alerts and hearing the siren go off. But it got me thinking. I love the movie Twister, and ironically, a couple weeks ago I watched it, and I love Bill Paxton. I just love the over-the-topness of it. It got me thinking, if you guys could pick an actor who has since passed away to come back as a ghost, but as a ghost, they're a character of their favorite movie or their best movie or role, what actor would you take back as a ghost in their favorite character? So for me, I was joking today to you guys, Bill Paxton ghost came back. But I think if I got to pick a ghost to hang out with, and only I could see would probably be, I'm going to go with Patrick Swayze Roadhouse. That'd be a cool ghost just to have by your side, him talking shit, but no one else can see him, but he's just fucking be badass.
Oh, so no one else can see this person.
You can see him clear as day, but he's clearly a ghost in that role.
You just got him talking mess like in your ear. And you can see him. You'd be like, hey, knock it off. But
you have Dalton giving you false confidence that you can beat the shit out of somebody that you can clearly not beat the shit out of.
He's not there to help me at all.
I want Dirty Dancing Patrick Swayze right beside me doing all his grinding moves.
Just so
that nobody
sweaty.
else can see. Just me, just sweaty and grinding on me. But no.
He's like, run to me, JR. Run to me, JR. And he's like, he can't catch you.
I just jump and place plant. There's nothing there. You just see, I'm like standing in line at Lowe's and I'm like doing my hips and grinding because I'm with him. Yeah, dude.
She's walking down the fenceway. Dude, he's in the middle of a lake just with his arms and his legs back he's like, why am I not getting lifted up? What the fuck is wrong with this guy, man? He's been out there. He's in my lake. There's a horse in there. Oh man, you guys took the best answers. Honestly, I don't.
Well, there's some kind of actors out there who passed away. That would
there's a lot of dead guys.
Philip Seymour Hoffman's character in Along Came Polly is one of my favorite people.
That's a good one
ever.
Yeah.
But to get a little crazy, like maybe Heath Ledger's Joker.
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
Just calls pure chaos.
Drive you insane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely would.
That'd be pretty wild, dude. I'm kind of. That's a good question. That's actually a great question. I get asked hypothetical questions in interviews all the time, but that's actually a really good question. I like that.
Should you send John to fluff them on hypothetical questions if they're going to ask them to you from now on?
John, can you do a pre thing with all the interviews that I do on tour?
You give me the Wisconsin Gazette because I got a bone to pick with them.
Yeah.
And we'll
Yeah. So when I'm doing my 9th interview with the Lincoln Observer,
Jesus,
we talk about bad interviews all the time, and the one that always comes up is one time Eric was doing one. And the guy goes, "So your new album, you like it?"
You almost have to laugh. Like, this is a great question.
I mean, I've been asked this, and my favorite too is when we get done, like when you get done with the interview, like you can tell that someone has no idea who you are or what they're writing about when at the end, or it actually works at the opposite too. They can actually be a big fan, but at the end of the interview, they'll say, anything you want to say to everybody out there reading this? And you're like, first off, nobody's fucking reading this.
I hate that part. Like
nobody's reading the fucking San Antonio Sun-Times Sentinel. You know what I mean? Wondering what I gotta say.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like anything you wanna say to your people out there. I'm always like, I just no, not really.
Yeah,
come out to a show. I don't know.
That's like my stock answer. I'm like, come to a show and buy our records. See you guys later.
Imagine
what?
I know what John's about to say right now, and this is actually what I was about to say. Please go ahead.
No. What were you gonna say?
No, I felt like you were about to go. Imagine if you just started like saying something like super mind blowing.
Yeah,
if you just started prophesizing anything you want to say. Actually, yeah, that Jesus is Lord, and if anybody wants to get Jesus in their life, go see our friend Bonzi Wells over at Lemoyne Owen College.
Right. You give like specific dates and like really eerie stuff that clearly isn't going to happen, but just to see if they're paying attention.
You do like a Mayan calendar. It's like, anything you'd like to say to any of your fans out there? Actually, on August 23rd, 2025, the world's going to end.
The one asshole,
hang up the phone.
Who reads every page of the Spokane Gazette's like, honey, 2 years from now, all my hair's gonna fall off, and we're being attacked by Martians.
Do you remember that guy, like in like the early '90s, Zach, who he predicted an earthquake? Or which fault are we on in Memphis? He predicted there was like this huge thing about earthquake safety, and like in schools we did earthquake drills instead of tornado drills. We would do earthquake drills. This is like I was like in maybe 5th grade. And it was just dead wrong. We haven't had an earthquake here since like the 1800s. But like everybody was terrified of it. And so I feel like when people ask you from now on, you should just start predicting natural disasters.
I just looked up. We're actually on the hustle and flow seismic zone. Man.
Oh, you talk about that from now on. Every press interview.
No, we're on the New Madrid seismic
New Madrid.
zone.
I knew it wasn't San Andreas. That's California, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's actually just I think that's just Grand Theft Auto. I don't think that's a real place.
I thought it was a San Andreas fault line.
No, I think that's just on Grand Theft Auto. I think it's a real place. Like
that's
Santa Clarita and Lost Boys. It's not a real. How's the hurricane going right now, John? Are you safe?
It's fine. Actually, poured probably 4 or 5 inches of rain yesterday. Today's just been overcast but windy, but I don't know. I think it hit more Connecticut, Long Island.
Okay.
Trajectory kind of changed, but it is fascinating when people scramble to the stores, and when someone goes to the store, they're like, "I need the bare essentials." Well, for me, water, bread, milk, it's just shit that if power goes out, it's going to sustain. These people are filling up Gushers, oatmeal, like dumb bullshit. It's like, dude, this is what you guys consider for last minute to save your life?
Well, like rice and oatmeal, like just dried goods, those make sense. Like if we're rationing food, those are things that you could do. But like milk is going to expire. Like Gushers,
John,
not going to keep you going.
John, we live in Memphis, Tennessee, buddy. We know about when things go wrong.
Quarter of an inch of snow.
If there's two snowflakes, and if there's two snowflakes in Memphis, Tennessee. So when me and my wife started dating, it hadn't snowed in Memphis in like a couple years. So we were like 3 or 4 years into dating. And I bring my wife to the grocery store, and it was about to snow, allegedly.
Allegedly.
It was allegedly about to snow, right? So I bring my wife to the grocery store. My wife, who's pretty much a germaphobe about a lot of things, is laying on the floor in the grocery store, laughing at people, pointing at them and laughing at them because they are grabbing like 8 loaves of bread. Dude, my wife is on the ground crying hysterically. She is laughing so hard because there's no water, there's no milk, there's no bread. Like people are just making milk sandwiches, man, just cruising around.
Yeah.
Just eating those milk sandwiches. Why bread and milk?
I mean, bread makes sense because bread
makes sense. You can make sandwiches, whatever. But what? Soup?
And soup. Well, I mean, but like or milk. I don't.
Cold soup. The milk, unless it's from New England, it's the wintertime. When it snows out, if the power goes out, you have the snow to act as a refrigerator. Plus, it's 30 degrees out. So I get that. But in the middle of a hurricane season up here, people are buying milk like it was just going out.
Are you making fucking homemade ice cream? Like, what are you
if the
doing
power
with
goes
milk?
out, if the power goes out, it's screwed.
You use the snow as a to keep it cold.
Well, not a hurricane, though.
That's something I never thought about, though.
I didn't either.
If the power, no, but if what I'm saying, what Justin just said, if the power goes out, how the fuck are you keeping milk cold?
Well, you can only open the refrigerator maybe once that day, so you better grab your fucking mustard, mayo, and dill pickles.
You can keep mustard out.
But that's why bread makes sense because you don't have to refrigerate it. Anything that you have to refrigerate, that being the thing you go buy in a bad weather seems crazy to me.
But these people are buying Gushers, rotisserie chickens. I mean, all this crap. It's like, dude, after the first 6 hours, Godfrey, you're going to be eating each other. Like, what are you doing?
Here's the thing, though, man. Like, why? Yeah, I would honestly, though, Gushers over milk makes even more sense.
Yeah, kind of does. Yeah, yeah.
If you really think about it, like here's the thing about milk. Also, like, who still like? I drink milk. I know a lot of people that don't, though. Like,
I never drink.
But here's the cereal are you drinking?
This hurricane has destroyed towns. Like you can see footage all over the news of towns washed away, all this stuff.
Oh yeah.
But picture someone sitting on your roof in Memphis, just eating a handful of Gushers, being, man, this sucks. Like I'm just like, dude. At least eat fruit by the foot. Like, come on.
Fruit by the foot. This man sitting there eating Gushers like, can't wait for the cavalry to show up and save me. My milk's underwater. He's drinking milk and eating Gushers. That's a new shirt. Eating Gushers, drinking milk.
Oh, man.
Hell yeah, dude. Imagine Gusher milk. Ugh.
Gusher
milk?
All right.
That sounds like a category on Pornhub.
That's so gross.
It's not on OnlyFans anymore. Now that they've got they're
bring that up in the news.
Strictly recipes and sports talk.
Can we? Okay, so JR is more of a reader than I am when it comes to news
and
like that.
OnlyFans for sure.
Yeah, and he has an OnlyFans.
And because obviously have an OnlyFans.
Here's the thing, like there's going to be another company that, but the problem is it's MasterCard, right?
Yes. Yeah, that is the biggest issue is that when they basically, and they can't even say that like, oh, we'll still work with you. And you can still do exactly what you're doing. You can have the same people and the same stuff on your platform. So we're not censoring you on what you can have on your website.
Yeah, they're telling OnlyFans like we're not banning porn. You're just saying you can't get paid for it.
No. They're not saying that. You can still use MasterCard to get paid for it. We have to have written consent for every person doing every single act on that platform. Every one of them has to have written consent, at which point that's impossible to do, at which point and so therefore MasterCard says, well, we're not going to be involved in it if you can't prove that there's full consent. And so they're not censoring what you can do on your thing, and they're not even saying you can't use us. They're just saying you have to do this one thing.
How many people use OnlyFans not for nudity or sex? Like once this happens, who's on
20%?
Yeah, I bet maybe 20%.
20% do like a lot of like modeling type. They'll just put like risque photos, but they're not like nude or anything like that.
Yep.
Here's the thing about getting somebody to consent to every act. There's a lot of acts being performed on OnlyFans.
Yep.
A lot of acts.
Yep.
I mean,
it's impossible. That's why it's impossible. And so the big players, Visa's going to, the other, unless you're getting into cryptocurrencies, but still, you need OnlyFans is so big because it's so easy and so mainstream. So the creator can dictate their own everything, and they can also until now every money format was accepted. PayPal, Square, whatever. And so you taking out the major payers, then you're down to like Bitcoin. Well, not everybody has Bitcoin. And so you're waiting for somebody else to come in.
You know what's super fascinating?
Yeah, I need to know what you're going to say about this.
Is that there are people today who were in the back of their mind going, you know what, honey, or if that, maybe not telling their wife or whatever, but they're like, I'm going to use some of my Bitcoins so I can watch a week worth of anal. Like, there is just people out there, they're like literally Bitcoin for any type of sex. Just that blows my mind. It blows my mind.
It's like a deregulation. When OnlyFans was kind of like a deregulation of the porn industry, right? And then now it's like they're regulating it because it's like, okay, these girls could realize that they, we've talked about this before in the past. In my past life, I knew some women in the adult industry,
guys too.
And actually, I don't know. I didn't know any guys in it. Me and Johnny Sins would hang out a lot. Dr. Sins.
Dr. Sins.
I would talk to those girls and they would be like, just out of curiosity, like what they get paid for a scene or whatever. And it's like, at the most, man, at the highest, unless you were a contract person, even if you were $1,000, $1,500.
How long? No, I need parameters.
I mean, it's gonna take 2-3 hours to shoot it,
right?
And it's a 30-minute scene, probably 25-minute scene.
Are you reimbursed for Uber rides or like stuff like that?
I mean, when I was hanging out with them, there was no Uber. Can
they ride out like they turn in their gas receipts? Do they get mileage?
They just got done banging. They're like, hold on, I gotta take a picture of this receipt real quick. Because here's the thing. I knew a couple of them who had friends who would escort, right? Mm-hmm. And so I would say, all right, listen. Good. Here's my question. I'd say, why do that, right? Because I was kind of like, I just don't get it. And, it was before I kind of really, opened up to the idea of like, let that person do what they want to do. Like, I don't think prostitution should be illegal. I think it's stupid. Do whatever you want. That's it's amongst you, right? So just like I don't think weed should be illegal. So I would ask about the escort and I go, well, why would they do that? Listen, these girls can go, and the person I was talking to didn't do that, but a bunch of her friends did, and she goes, they can go and show up to a set and spend 5 hours there and make $1,500 and have to be there for 3 hours, getting banged for 3 hours. And like, because it's not like how it happens, right? They just like shoot something and they got to stop. How do you keep your dong hard for that long?
Like that, honestly, that is impressive.
Practice. For sure.
Yes. We're talking about practice?
Just like
not a game.
Not a game.
Not a game.
Yeah, not a regular
about practice.
I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice.
Not a butt fuck.
At home when you're practicing, you just like get it going and then you stop and like mow a section of your yard and then come back and get it back going again. Just like
but you gotta stop. So like I would ask him, I'm like, so why do girls like escort? Because it's probably like probably CEOs of major companies or whatever. Because for them to do that, it's like the same thing. It's like $1,500, $3,000 to get one of those big stars to come. And they would go, all right, listen, you can show up on a set for 5 hours a day and do your thing. And sometimes they'll do 2 scenes a day. That's 10 hours, whatever. You're on the set all this time. You could do all these things. It's uncomfortable. You got to shoot box covers and all this. She goes, they can go to some, whatever, 400
guitar player,
400 pound. Yeah. Guitar player from a band.
Shinedown dressing room. And then
Shinedown dressing room.
Second chance.
Can we talk about that? Can we talk about that in a second? I want to talk about that. So
get up.
They can go do that, right? And then it's like, what happens is they're like, well, they can go to some 400-pound CEO guy's room for this guy's gonna bust in 8 seconds. When some girl who he's been jerking off to online is right there in front of him, he's done. She's like, that's $3,000 right there. Took her 5 minutes.
Wasn't there a celebrity that had Shinedown?
And guess what? No one has to see you. It's not on camera. No one knows about it. I was like,
wasn't there a celebrity who had a sex tape that played Shinedown in the background?
There was. I don't remember who it was.
Really?
Oh, no. Yeah. Wasn't it like
Academy Award winner?
Because you told me about it. Oh,
I don't want to
it was
say the name.
it was
I don't want to say the name.
It was Jennifer. It wasn't a sex tape. It was Jennifer, the girl from
Silver Lining Plaything.
Lawrence?
Yeah, Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah.
Second Chance was playing during a
Yep, Second
blowjob.
Chance was playing in the background.
That is fantastic.
True
Good
story.
for you.
Yeah.
Congrats,
my wife
guys.
in the background.
Congrats,
ladies
guys.
She's just beating the kids.
With that railing.
and gentlemen. I think the kids are picking pears at their grandmother's house, which is over
fun.
there somewhere. So just shout out. I forgot all about that. Yeah, Jennifer Lawrence. There's all that she got like hacked or whatever.
Yep.
Allegedly, and all that stuff came out. There's one video of her and like Second Chance is just blaring in the background. I was like, oh shit, what up?
That's awesome. Good
Okay,
for
so
you.
what I wanted to talk about that was.
My dog just joined.
Oh, cool. What's up, Presley? How many people do you know that would willingly probably admit to having paid for sex before?
Oh.
Having or paying for like OnlyFans? You talking the actual
like paying for it, paying for it.
Probably a small percent, maybe.
They would admit it?
Okay, how many people? You probably had nobody admit it, but how many people do you think would do it, and how many people do you think? How many people do you think have done it in your life? Friends that you know. You don't have to name them, like I always do. And then how many do you think have admitted it or would admit it if you asked them flat out?
I bet I know people
I know that you know people that probably have.
that probably have.
In their dark times, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
I bet there are people not in their dark times.
No. I'm not, for sure not in their dark times.
I mean, I just think about the gamut of people that I know. I'd be like, I can see that guy's probably done it.
Yeah.
Oh, we have people on our crew who like flat out talk about it.
Oh, all right.
Not really. There's just one person. Like he would come on this podcast and talk about it. It's not like I'm telling a tale outside of school right now. He I think one time he actually tried to convince Brent to do it, and he's like, first off, Brent's not into that sort
I
of
love
thing.
you just say his name.
Oh shit! You gotta bleep that out. You gotta block that out. Yeah, you're gonna have to beep that out. I'm putting a lap in there.
Got pink eye in Amsterdam. What? Anyway, I don't want to say names.
I don't want to say names. I mean, try to. But here's his last name.
Yeah. Anyway. Oh man!
I'll just use his first initial and full last name.
We gotta keep all the laughing in there, but you gotta take his name out. So he was trying to talk. He's like, bro, I was like, Brent, this is what you gotta do. And Brent's not into that. It's not what Brent's into. It's just that's just not him. And he goes, listen, man. He goes, you ain't paying him to show up. You're paying him to go away. I was like, hey, that's a fair assessment, man. Anyway, shout out. Oh man. Yeah, so I know I sent you guys this video, but I went to a public lake the other day to go fishing, and we just hung out by the beach. And I was in the stall trying to take a urination, and I looked down, and dude, the set of raptor claws that the gentleman in the stall next to me had was appalling.
Like those feet could catch trout, like the feet of an osprey.
It was. We'll put a video in here. Were you shitting next to a demon? Like dude,
where were you?
It was so. Dude, it looked like this dude was like literally kicking piranhas with it was. Dude, it looked like a witch's. If a witch's nose could be feet, like it was the worst. Like they had moles, the toenail. Dude, it looked like a raptor claw. It legit. It was like.
It looked like 5 dew claws off a Rottweiler that's been living in the junkyard.
What if it turns out you were actually in the stall next to Bigfoot?
Dude,
right.
He did have big feet. That's true. Did you see this video or no?
No.
Hold on.
If someone's
feet
feet look that bad, what do you think their cock looks like, Zach?
Oh.
Man, I'm going to be honest. About that one. I don't know. I do not know.
That sounds brutal.
I hope it doesn't have fingernails, because that would be,
It
be
might.
atrocious.
It's got grit.
So Yeah, it was, dude. It was really bad. Like it was. Oh my god! I'm just looking at a picture of it, and I'm like, I just texted it to you.
Okay.
So
Dude,
good.
it is so bad. It was terrible. It was not good.
Oh.
What a joke! Did his foot fight
what?
Tom Poe in Kickboxer? Like, what is that?
Dude.
I mean, listen. One of the like I feel like a very strong. I mean, it's hard to come around on this. Like everybody strives for this. At least I do. Self-awareness is like something you should strive for.
You can tell by that photo.
None.
You
have
can
to
tell
know
by that photo that guy wears sandals all the time.
That's correct. How?
And that guy shits and doesn't wipe his ass.
How could that guy? If your feet look like that, like it's not everybody can have pretty feet. If you have bad feet, you just have to know, like, you know what? I probably shouldn't wear sandals. I should, if I'm going to be by the water, I wear boat shoes.
I mean, there are people with diabetes won't even touch those feet.
That looks
Here's
like
the thing,
the diabetes billboards around Memphis that have the nasty toes.
Oh yeah, it's like dude, they look like black toes, man.
Oh, they're all over the
Dude,
interstate.
They look freezer burnt, dude. I'm like, I'm on my way to dinner right now, bro. Like, I don't need to see these burnt feet, dude. Those ads, and the ones that remember there's like the vegetarian ads that would be like, where do you draw the line? And it was a picture of like chicken, cow, duck, and then it was like horse, dog, and then like someone redid a meme and they were like, about right here. Like, this is where I draw the line. This is where I'm no longer eating animals. Dude, there's billboards in Memphis that have like these feet. It's like the diabetic nerve center or whatever. Dude, they just look frostbitten.
And like, you know how like they try to make the almost like them 3D to where, you know, the billboard's a rectangle, but sometimes they make them bigger
anyway you drive
to
by
protrude.
you can see it.
And so this one has like the two out of 5 because there's only, I think it's missing several toes, but like 2 toes sticking above the billboard and they look like frostbitten. It is the grossest thing ever. It's just like on the interstate. It's like, welcome to Memphis. Here's diabetes.
Right. Out back on the left, diabetes foot on the right.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Yeah.
Be sure to stop by Graceland and get a peanut butter and banana sandwich before you leave. You know what? That's something else I want to talk. I want to talk about one more food thing, but I want to talk about that because Justin Moore is obviously a big Elvis fan.
There's my wife.
Is she here?
Hey, wife.
What's up?
My wife.
What's up, wife?
She's going to get the kids.
Oh,
Get back in the kitchen.
So, by the way, I found the diabetes billboard photo, JR, and we're gonna put it in here.
Great.
That dog is on it.
Oh, that's Presley. Presley's great. So speaking of Presley, the dog, and the king of rock and roll, why do people clamor? They go to Memphis and they want to eat a peanut butter and banana sandwich, like, oh yeah, this is what the king ate, who died on his fucking toilet seat at 40 years old, 40 something. In his 40s. Why would you want to why is it like, hell yeah, that's what I need to eat. I need to eat a bunch of these because this guy died shitting in his mid 40s. I want to be just like the king, baby.
I mean, I think his problem was more drugs.
Yeah.
Than just the fried peanut butter and jelly or fried peanut butter and banana sandwiches. But
So you guys think
it is
he's
like
dead?
a thing. Yes.
Interesting.
You say, so you guys think he's dead? I'm going to be telling tales outside of school here. I think it might have been Matt Healy's aunt. It was somebody who worked for Zach Myers Band's aunt at the time, I remember. Because I remember finding this website in the early 90s about all these things about how Elvis was alive, right? And it was really compelling stuff, and most of it was true, based in fact. It wasn't just somebody just made up some stuff. It was all true stuff. It was all in crime, police reports, whatever. And I want to say it was Matt Healy's aunt. I'm not sure. We could call him actually right now and ask. But I don't know. I think he may be alive. And somebody's aunt who I knew said, well, I embalmed him. So they said, if he's alive, he is very fucking uncomfortable. Hold on. We got to call Matt Healy real quick. I wonder if it was Matt Healy's aunt.
Do you think she stuffs the cock too? Let's ask her that follow up.
I wonder.
I think
if
it's
you do.
I think it's based on like what your profession was. So like what's his name? John Holmes.
John Holmes.
John Holmes. Yeah.
Like they would have to make sure that he was very
That's
presentable.
a lot of
I
duck
would
feathers
think.
stuffed
It's
down there.
A lot of duck
duck
feathers.
Yeah. A lot of polyurethane just to get that thing.
What do you think they used to embalm wieners? Listen to his stupid voice.
Josh,
Leave me a message or send me a text, and I will try to get back to you.
No.
What is that?
I'm Matt Healy.
Smoker.
So I don't know. But here's the thing. I guess you're right. I guess eating peanut butter and banana sandwiches probably isn't as long as you're not taking massive amounts of Lortabs on top of it.
True. He wasn't.
Was taking.
He wasn't the picture of health. So doing something that he was doing at that time of his life is probably not the smartest thing.
Yeah, but so like going like and being like, you know what? This guy died on the shitter at 40 in his 40s. Let me eat the same thing he's eating. This seems like a legit thing.
And what an autopsy photo? Like what a photo too to be like your legacy is just you're dead on the toilet. Like, one thing if you were assassinated or killed by a hitman.
The crazy part is that nothing upstairs in Graceland looks any different than it did the day that he died.
Yep.
I've never been to Graceland. I've done events outside of it.
Well, guess what? Well, never mind. We can't really talk about that here, but you're going to go. You get to go. We're going to be there for 3 days.
I can't wait to take a dump.
For 2 days. Oh, my God.
Oh, dude. We could take reenactment videos.
Okay, so I went. I'm not supposed to. I probably not supposed to. I think JR knows this.
I know.
I got to go upstairs one time when I was changing the strings.
Hey, John, if you don't know, just to preface it, the whole thing with the museum and the tours, you basically get to see everything except upstairs, and they make a deal out of it in the tour how nobody except the family goes upstairs. Like part of the family home was like the upstairs or the private area was a big thing for Elvis, and so they don't let anybody upstairs. Like
it's locked down. Matt was calling me. Hold on, let's figure this out. Hey, you're on the podcast right now.
All right.
Question: when we were younger in the Zach Myers band days, I was talking about Elvis being alive, and someone's aunt embalmed Elvis. Was that your aunt?
Nope, wasn't me. It was I can't think of the guy's name now, but it wasn't me.
Okay, but it was somebody we knew. Yeah. In those days, because I said I think Elvis is alive, and she said she made the famous quote, "I embalmed him. If he's alive, he's really fucking uncomfortable."
Yeah, I remember that, but I can't remember who it was.
Okay, that's all I need to know. I thought it was your aunt. I've been by the way, if anybody asks your aunt, I've been telling people that story for like 20 years that it was your aunt. So
I'll take claim to it, but it wasn't.
All right, cool.
Follow-up question for Matt. Follow-up question for Matt.
He already hung up. He can't hear you anyway. I'd have to.
I know, but
you'd make me repeat it, and it'd be something weird.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
So when I changed the strings on Elvis's guitars, which I believe at the time in 2002 or 3, I was the first person to do it.
Costello or
Elvis Costello's guitars. Yeah. He had really old strings.
I love that.
So I was there, and the first day I went to this building in the back, which you can't see from any part on the tour. It doesn't have any windows, and there's a ton of stuff in there. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be talking about this. They didn't make me sign an NDA, but like all, Priscilla's baby toys, there's tons of stuff in there.
Yeah.
So, we're back there the first day, and then the second day she goes, "Hey, well, there's private events tomorrow and the next day, so you're gonna have to come after 5:00." And I'm like, "I'm gonna be at Graceland at night." She's like, "Yeah, but there's 2 security guards." I'm like, I don't feel less ghostly. You know what I mean? Like, I feel safe.
The security guards will save you from the ghosts.
Right.
Yeah, like I feel safe because that's the only safe place on that road.
That's correct. That's correct.
Zach, there it's all Patrick Swayze from Ghost, Flashdance, and all that shit.
I'm dirty dancing in the jungle room with Patrick Swayze from.
I like that.
So one of the security guys, this is like 9:00 at night. I told him I would do 10 guitars a day. It's like 9:00 at night. He goes, "Hey man, I'm gonna go over to where all the cars are and stuff. There's like a cafeteria. He's like, I'm gonna eat my lunch over there." I was like, okay. I said, so no one's here. He goes, no one's here. I said, do people ever go upstairs? He goes, I'm gonna go across the street and eat my lunch. I said, so you're saying you're not gonna be in here? He goes, I'm gonna go across the street. And I was like, noted. So I went upstairs and I brought my camera like the fucking delinquent that I was. I was 20 years old, Go over there, bring my camera, take a bunch of pictures upstairs. Don't turn on the lights in the bathroom because obviously they could see that, over there. So I put my arm in the bathroom with the flash on it because it was a long bathroom. Like it wasn't wide. It was kind of long and narrow and it curved around. So I put my thing in there, took a picture, walked off, took a couple pictures. Didn't go in the bedroom. I thought that was rude, even though I took a picture where he died on a shitter.
Right.
So none of the pictures came out. All black.
Was the
black.
lens still on?
No. It was like one of those, you press it and it just pops. It was like a little like Olympus digital
disposable.
camera. It wasn't disposable.
Oh.
It was like a digital camera.
Oh.
But none of the photos came out. All the photos I took downstairs. They told me when I was changing strings that I could take pictures downstairs all I wanted. They didn't care. All those pictures came out.
Interesting.
Every
Ghost
single
got
one of
him.
them.
A
Ghost
ghost.
got him. One time me and JR did a photo shoot in Graceland and they made us wear little booties on our shoes.
Sure did.
And they cut off our feet in the photo.
It's because we were doing it in the actual jungle room, so you can't get in the carpet in the jungle room. And so we got for the photo shoot. It was like after hours, and then we were in the. But like the photographer wanted to move like an end table. It's like this tiny little end table, and the person who worked with Graceland is like, I can move it. Hold on, and she had to go somewhere, get some white gloves to pick up this end table and move it about 5 feet.
She couldn't just pick it up and move it. She had to put on gloves.
Yep.
She had to put booties on. I wonder if they don't let you in the jungle room like that because they're just like, they try to get on the ground and like sniff the cocaine out of the floor. Like if you walk on this, we're not going to get all this cocaine out of here.
Kill the pain.
Now they're the same company that
Adds
took
value
over
to the
for
house.
Prince, correct?
Now they are, yeah. Prince
Do
and
they do the Michael
Graceland are-
Jackson? Who does the Michael Jackson?
they don't give tours of Neverland.
But imagine that your company's
I
like,
think that's still a crime scene.
how come no one wants to go check out David Bowie or Tom Petty's estate?
I mean, they're not up to see.
Yeah, but say, are they? Are they number one not up to see? Are they like these?
That Nirvana warehouse, greenhouse, if it was still up, would have been a mecca. For
But I mean, are like Tom Petty or David Bowie? I mean, you would almost think David Bowie's would. Are they extravagant homes to where they're almost like these? Like having the jungle room.
I mean,
in your
they
house
wrote a couple
is-
of hits. I mean, I get that they wrote a couple of
but
hits.
like, what if he just lived in like a nice cottage and like just like a house?
Right.
Yeah, I think it's people who lived in extravagance, right?
Yeah.
In some way or another. Prince's house, Prince lived at the top of Paisley Park, bro. It was like an apartment. Like it wasn't like this crazy like thing that he had.
No,
he didn't
yeah,
have this huge house,
we saw
We saw it. But with Elvis, it's like this guy was the first person to live in extravagance in the entertainment industry. This guy has he has a room, John, that's all TVs and mirrors, and there's monkeys everywhere.
I have
the razor blade marks in these mirrors. Oh, you wouldn't believe them.
I have one of his bodyguards for the Memphis Mafia coming on my podcast.
Which one?
Dave Hebler.
Okay.
It
Really?
was the Kempo, trained with Ed Parker, did all the training and stuff. But because I'm very curious about all the obviously I'm familiar with Elvis, but I'm super fascinated by like the Memphis Mafia, his entourage, his whole life. That era must have been fucking insane in Memphis.
Yes,
Like, that's why I
I
would
would
think how
think so.
Memphis
Dude.
never blew up the way Nashville is, just based on that alone.
Well, he lived kind of like Michael Jackson in a way of like, he would say, I want to go eat at Folks Folly. And they'd say, it's 2 a.m. And he'd say, yeah, I know. And they would open up Folks Folly and he would go eat there. You know what I mean? Like it was that kind of life. Like I remember, I got to go across the street, the warehouse that's behind all the planes. Dude, there's like 3 Cadillacs over there with legit bullet holes in them. Still there.
Oh.
They're not on the tour. They have legit bullet holes in the handle because one night he tried to come out and open the door and it was frozen shut. So he shot the fucking door.
I've held 2 of his pistols, those crazy diamond encrusted ones. That Secret Service actually owns
What a
them in their
G,
vault.
man.
Do you think you would have watched like the Memphis Grizzlies and been like, "Oh, what's up, Bonsai?" or "What's up,
Bonsai.
what's up, Michael Conley?" Would he been a fan of Memphis today? You think?
Yeah, he would have been. Elvis would still live in Memphis if he was alive, I think, or Vegas. I don't know. Where do you think Vegas?
He
where do you
might
think
be in
Elvis would live?
Vegas.
Vegas or Florida for the weather.
Yeah.
Because he'd be in his 80s now.
Yeah.
He's in Florida right now.
I mean,
St.
he'd probably
Augustine.
still have his Memphis home, but I think he'd be between Vegas and Florida.
What if he was actually upstairs that whole time? And when
was
you went to the
literally- I
bathroom,
knew you were gonna
and he
say
goes- and he was like, "What the
I
fuck you
fucking knew
doing?"
you were going to
God damn it!
I literally was going to say, John's going to say, what if I took that photo? He goes, hey, man, I'm in here taking a shit. Get out of here.
Like every time you went to take a picture, you like turned away and his hand just covered the. It was his
God
hand
damn
covering,
it.
so they all turned out black.
You see this big ass gold ring like on one of them?
He's like, "No flash, you piece of shit."
Hey man, I'm up here trying to sleep, baby. Like, what is happening right now? I knew that's exactly what you're. We've been doing this podcast too long, man. I knew exactly what you were going to say.
That is so good.
All right, one little food thing I have. The other little food thing I have. I love that the peanut butter banana sandwich got us off on all this. So this guy at my in-laws' church yesterday made beef short ribs, like smoked these beef short ribs. But when he walked up to my mother-in-law and said, "Hey, I want you to try these," he said, "Hey, I want you guys to be the guinea pigs for this and see if you like them." So all my son heard was guinea pig, right? So my son all day long thought he was eating guinea pig yesterday.
Oh God!
So I made some more of them. I didn't get home till later from my fishing trip yesterday. So I was making some for. I made some for myself for dinner, and Ollie goes, "Hey, I want some guinea pig for dinner," and that was my first time hearing about it. So I go, "What?" He goes, "I want some guinea pig for dinner." I go, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Well, the guy I made those told grandma they were guinea pigs."
Oh,
so I'm like texting. She goes, "Oh no, he said he wanted us to be the guinea pig, just like to try him." So
you should have kept this going.
I did. I go, "Yeah, you want some guinea pig ribs?"
Now take it to a store right now where pets are, and just walk through the cages and be like, "What do you want for lunch?" Parakeet.
Oh man. Man. All right, you don't do gripes?
You better watch out. You better be nice, or you might find yourself in Zach's gripes.
Here's my gripes, John, and you know how I like these things, and you're from New England. Listen, no one in the world wants mayo near any sort of fucking lobster.
What?
So stop putting mayo on lobster rolls. That's the dumbest fucking thing. Do not put mayo on mayo and lobster sounds like the worst thing of all time. And I enjoy a hot, warm lobster roll. Even if you can put the lettuce bibs in there. You can put the lettuce bibs. I'll take that out. But dude, the rolls they come on, hot buttered roll, hot buttered lobster on a roll. That's all you need. It's a lobster sandwich. I don't need a cold lobster roll.
Oh God.
With like mayo. Dude, they toss it in mayo.
Yeah, it's almost like the chicken salad type texture. Like tuna salad.
It's terrible. Like I don't all my gripes today are food things, obviously, because I've been fat for the last 8 months, so it's fine. So yeah, I don't understand the mayo on a lobster roll thing.
You sound so bougie right now. Oh, I don't like mayo on my lobster.
That's weird.
Next time when I go Monday on the Cape, they better not have mayo on my lobster.
I don't know why I asked him to be on here. I should never ask one of my real friends that I hang out with every day to be on here. This is a mistake.
Most people try to eat like crawfish every now and then. Zach's like, I hate when I have my lobster once a week. It's got to be hot and buttered.
Why would you put mayo on a lobster?
I mean,
does that not sound weird? Am I crazy?
That does seem like a weird topping for lobster.
To take a perfectly good lobster that's fine on its own and toss it in mayo in a bowl is disgusting to me.
That does feel
they also put other seasoning too. Like there's other seasonings that are part of that.
Old Bay or whatever. Yeah, but I love Old Bay.
I love Young Bay, Old Bay.
Young Bay, Salt Bay. Love Salt Bay.
Hell yeah.
My other food gripe is I was looking at a place online the other day because we were going to go there for lunch, and why
they didn't serve lobsters? We didn't go. The place was like, go.
But we're all guilty of doing
boycotting.
Boycott, yeah.
Cancel that trash.
My son's going to do that at sleepovers, dude. He's going to be like, mac and cheese, hard pass. So we all do this. I've heard actually both of you do this. I've heard both of you do this several times. Why do we, when we look at a menu, right? Is it the font? What is it? But we'll look at a menu and just by the words on a page, you go, this place looks really good.
Well, because if it is,
it's the same shit that's on every other menu for the most part.
That's
now,
not true.
What if the waiter came over with feet like that guy in the bathroom stall? Would you still be like, oh, you know what?
I'm not eating there. I'm not eating there.
I bet they're crusty.
If the wordsmith who wrote the menu has a way with words to give you the proper words to make in your head, oh, this is going to look like this, you can say it looks really good. Or it can be like if you're go to Japan and they just have wax moldings of all their things. They say point to what you want. You can be like,
so good.
oh yeah, this looks really good.
God, Japanese food in Japan is the best.
Yes.
But I'm not saying like a waiter. I'm saying like we'll look at it online. You and I will be on an AM tour in the van trying to figure out where we're going to eat and go, this place looks really good. And it's the same words that are on any menu, but we're like, this place looks really good.
Oh,
we don't know the cook there. He might be a terrible cook. Anybody can write cheeseburger on a menu.
Right. Oh, they got a crosswalk component, please?
Yeah, when he says cheeseburger, add on bacon, I'm like, oh, it looks pretty good. I think
Looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Hey, this place looks pretty good.
Yeah.
We're always like, this place looks pretty good.
To go along with that, though, how come we can't just enjoy a meal? Like, oh, it's a good meal. Everything, literally, we were in a steak place. Me, Zach, who else was there? Dustin, a couple other people. And we both were eating the steak.
I think.
Sanjay, and we both go, we all look at each other, oh, this is top 5. This is top 10. Like, why do everything we eat, can't it just be like a good meal?
No.
Everything's like a competition.
It's got to be
Rate it.
Rate it.
You have to rate it.
Right. Oh, these are top 6 mashed potatoes, but the
It's not
asparagus
even
is
worth your time if it's not rateable.
That was a top 10 U.S. steakhouse, though, I will say.
For sure.
And where were we? Sioux Falls?
Sioux Falls
And
at the
Sioux
local
Falls.
Outback. Yeah, at the local Outback.
Thank you. All right, my last gripe is the other day I tweeted the most controversial thing I've ever tweeted, which was Costco has the best just straight up hot dogs in America, and a lot of people in Chicago got upset about that, and they go, "Oh no, bro, you got to go to Portillo's, bro. You got to go to." I go, listen, if I wanted a poppy seed bun and half the fucking produce section on my hot dog, then we're talking about a sandwich now.
Yep.
I want a hot dog with mustard on it. Fuck you, Paul. I want a hot dog with
Someone
mustard
sent
on it.
us a life advice, wondering if they could call a hot dog a sandwich. Like, is it a sandwich?
I thought it was a sandwich. Costco has the best straight up hot dogs.
Their pizza's top 10.
No, that's not true. There's good pizza out there. It's for a chain pizza. It's pretty good.
It's better than all those other ones.
For an under $10 huge pizza from a chain, Costco has great pizza.
To pay,
And you've already eaten 4 pounds of bagel bites through the frozen section.
Yeah.
but to pay $6 and get one of the best hot dogs and a drink that you'll ever taste.
Come on.
Dude, I don't need a poppy seed bun and lettuce and mustard and tomato and onions on a hot dog. I'll accept
that has
mustard.
its place. I mean, if you want a fancy hot dog, I'm fine with that.
It's a niche thing.
Yeah, I would probably eat it and like it. But if you're just like, I just like a hot dog that I want to feed me and the kids. Costco
for a niche hot dog, the best hot dog I've ever had is right field, Kansas City at the Kauffman Stadium. One of the best hot dogs I've ever had. You had one with me, JR. You were there. It's delicious. All right.
Very good.
We're done with gripes now. John, do you want to tell us? I'm deathly afraid of what's coming next, but go ahead.
John the Shaman, keeping you on track. All you gotta do is touch his big old sack of mail.
I made a friend with a work colleague who, by all accounts, might be interested in me. I myself know that I like men and am totally not interested, as she's a female. She asked me to join her for an overseas trip for her birthday. I unfortunately cannot afford it, but she has offered to pay and said she just wants me to be there. No strings attached in terms of the trip, and I won't have to pay her back. I'm worried that she might read into it and think that I'm interested. What should I do?
Oh, this is Matt Healy.
Well, this is a female. It could be Matt.
This is Matt Healy. Matt Healy's girlfriend flew him places. This is Matt Healy. I know who this is. Matt Healy sent this in.
No, it's not.
Is this a lesbian or is this a guy and girl?
This is a girl.
She's
girl?
straight. She's a straight girl.
Yeah, she's a straight girl who got asked to go overseas or see her friend who's a lesbian. But when she said, "Hey, I can't afford it,"
Is she sure she's a lesbian? Her friend's a lesbian?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Praise God, baby.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. That's the Lord's work. So anyway, I listen. I feel like I would just be straight up about it and ask. And also, man, it's weird times. Go do you. Go do something weird. You know what I'm saying? Be a damn lesbian for a day. You know?
Could you be gay for a day, Zach?
I think that's easier to say to do that for a day when you could just like, all right, I did it. And like, I kind of want to just go home now. If you're stuck on a trip.
Oh, yeah.
Overseas, you're out of the country, so you can. So if you're not like already naturally a lesbian, just like diving in head first, pun intended.
Figured.
On an overseas trip for multiple days, when you're not really a thing, that's like not dabbling. That's like, well, I'm just committing now.
Right. Like
Go ahead, John.
I mean, if you're not a fur trader, then why put yourself in that position? Just to be honest.
If you're going to be a lesbian, though,
right,
be a lesbian in Paris.
Oh hell yeah! Or not like.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what better
don't be
place to be a lesbian?
backpacking to the Dublin. Like that's too like wet and like.
Ain't nobody trying to be a lesbian in Arkansas.
And chafing.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody trying to try lesbianism for the first time in Jonesboro.
What do you think a lesbian
That's
in
true.
Alabama dresses like, Zach? What do you think is what's
Me?
the outfit? Yeah,
Like me?
Did you?
like a Nirvana faded T-shirt.
I don't know.
Just remove the beard and you're looking at it.
Man, this is it, dude. Fine. I don't know. I don't hang out. I don't hang out. I don't know any Alabama ones. I know some Tennessee ones.
The only 10 I see.
Yeah,
I would be. I don't know. Like you gotta be honest, right? You gotta tell us, hey, I'll go as a friend. But what if you get there, like you don't realize you are a lesbian until you get there?
Oh,
Then
there's
you're
always
like,
that.
man,
Yeah.
And then you better start an OnlyFans before October 1st.
That's right.
Make that money, baby. Pay this trip back. This ain't no free trip. We're trying to start this OF up, baby. Make this. I'm trying to get these miles back, daddy.
It feels like, my God. My God. You should probably I mean, that's what I would do. Like passive aggressively make a joke about not being gay or liking dudes. And like the kind of, it reiterates.
Is there going to be any cute guys there?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Some way to like, you know.
Something John would text to her, you know.
Oh, just a girl, Laurie, please don't let me be misunderstood.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But just being myself, not even realizing I'm trying to break the ice here.
I wish your camera angle was just a little bit lower so we could see your vest.
So good.
Almost had it. Almost had it. You look like the Fisher guy from the Geico commercial where they dangling the dollar in front of him.
I like
I
that.
still know what you
Gotta be
did last
quicker than
summer.
that.
Yeah.
I gotta buy that
yeah.
vest.
It'd be
All right, what
it'd
else?
be-
What else you got?
This is a serious life advice here.
Mm.
I think we'll have fun talking about it. I am currently unhappily married and I feel stuck. I try to stay positive, but sometimes it's just hard. He's not working because of a disability. I don't hate him, but I'm no longer in love with him. He's just very negative about life and everyone, and it gets old quick. We've been together about 21 years, and I don't want to give the exact number, but we'll say it's been over 10 years since we've been trying to get back when we first had. I told him I wanted a divorce.
Where'd you
What?
go?
Man.
Looking like fucking Chaka over here. It's been months and months and still no date, just excuses. This is where I think I am being a bitch because he's always using his pain as a reason to not do anything. By the way, I'm very plain and simple. Dinner and a movie would be a great day for me. It's not how he works. I work and support our family, so it's not like I'm telling him to take me out after a hard day at work. I am so tired and feel like maybe I should just shut up and cause I don't want to say for better or worse, it's sick in his health. Maybe it's just the way it should be. I'm honestly in a place where I don't want a husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, or anything. I just want to be me and my children. But am I just being selfish? Sorry for just rambling on. Your thoughts are appreciated always. Thank you.
I mean, that's, you know, we see that a lot, right? Like that's kind of how a lot of people feel. You know, I don't know. I feel like that you gotta, I feel like people, all right. I feel like people express things sometimes in their heads or to their friends, but they never tell their spouse, right? And then they feel like we had this problem, like on the same thing with the Shinedown crew, right? Like talking about someone ad nauseum, but never actually talking to the person to get the problem out. So I feel like, you know, you express these things to your friends and you express them to yourself and you talk about them so much that you get sick of them and you're finally like, you know what, fuck this, I'm out. But you never actually express them in that way. Like, I don't know if that person's ever expressed in the way that she just wrote you.
That's what I'm saying.
Her husband.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like if she has not, like that email, she should just print it out and read it if she hasn't done that. Almost.
Well, I'm going to send it to him for sure. Don't worry about that.
You're forwarding it. She left a forwarding address.
Here's this email if you want to send him this.
Did she say at any point in there, maybe I missed it, have they ever tried like couples therapy or individual therapy to get professional advice? They have?
They have. They've tried the dates. He didn't want to do it. Yeah, so they've tried everything. And it's just, I guess he's just lazy and not lazy, but being on disability, I assume, has a lot of, I can only imagine if I was disabled and I couldn't do what I love doing, I think my approach to life would be different, obviously. But it's not fair to your spouse to deal with you having a bad day every day. I don't think. Yeah,
I mean, at some point you have I mean, not even just him, just anybody. Like, you have to make a decision. This stupid cliche about making lemonade out of lemons, but like, it sucks. Whatever that disability is, it's clearly caused a problem. But like, you can either be a victim forever, or like, okay, I'm ruining the good parts of my life by like not trying to make the best of what I have. And so,
and depending on how old the kids are, you tell your kids it's okay to be unhappy.
Yeah, you can just run that into the ground forever. And so it's hard to say when she leaves it as like, I don't want to be married or the boyfriend. I just want to be alone with my kids. That's tough because
might have to go backpacking into Europe. She may have to go
backpacking. Can you connect the previous email with this one? Let's see.
Maybe that's the part. Maybe that's who she's going to visit.
That's who she's going.
Guys, we really figured this out. This is some really Scooby-Doo shit we just figured out, guys.
I mean, that feels like when you've made your mind up to be there, you've made your mind up. That seems like a non-salvageable thing.
Yeah, that's a even if I feel like now, no matter how hard, I don't know because of the desperation in the front part of it where she's like, I would just like him to take me on a date. Maybe if he did that, maybe you start reeling in the line a little bit, you know?
Maybe.
I don't know. Best of luck to you. That's a tough place to be in. I would obviously, though, I would express kind of the way you expressed to John. Yep. I don't read those emails on purpose. I would express that to him, the same thing. Like, hey, this is where I'm at right now. Like, I feel like so over this that like, I don't want anybody. I just want me and my kids because you're not putting in this effort. That's where I would go with it.
She's to the point where she wants 3 assholes on a podcast to discuss this. Like, that's pretty low.
That's the last low. Of it. That's when you're
really
at the end
low.
of your rope. Yeah.
That is the end of the rope.
Medication, whatever it is, do a podcast right here. We're just throwing out there.
These 3 idiots who just sit there and talk about nothing all day long. You know what? That's they'll figure this out for me.
They're qualified to take care of this.
They'll figure this out for me. This will be great.
Perfect.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you have life advice or questions, or even whatever dreams that you have. Oh yeah, I got one more dream. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I had a dream the other night that I went to go see a hypnotist about my anxiety. Right. So I was like, okay, I'm finally going to go take care of this. Like, I want to get rid of my anxiety. I'm going to go to a hypnotist and all that. So I have a dream, and it's like this like older dude. Like, he kind of looks like Mr. Rogers a little bit, but like a little more creepy.
Perfect.
So I tell a couple of my friends about this, that I'm going to go see this guy, and they actually, this is the guy they recommend, right, to go see. So I go see this hypnotist. He puts me down. It's a short dream, and then I wake up. And like, he taps me on the shoulder, but like, he's like zipping up his pants. Like, what? As he wakes me up, and I've been out because I've been hypnotized. So immediately I'm thinking like, oh shit, this guy hypnotized me. I just sucked this guy's dick. Then all my friends jump out and it's like a big prank. It was like a big prank. Like, the guy wasn't even like, he was a hypnotist, but like all my friends were in on it, and they like talked him into like pulling this prank to where like right when he woke me up, he'd be like readjusting his trousers.
Or all your friends just watch you suck him off.
What it feels like is this is probably the first wet dream you've had since you were a teenager.
Correct.
Yeah. It was a sheet changer for sure.
Was it the first night alone at the cabin house?
My jaw was really sore when I woke up too. I wasn't really sure what happened.
Yeah, your protein intake really went up.
So, what do you think about that dream, John? Can you help me?
I don't know. Have you? Well, it kind of reminds me of the scene in Hot Tub Time Machine where he jokes that he passed out, sucked him off after he lost that bet.
Yeah.
So maybe you watched that movie, or
I did not.
Maybe you're just super horny and you can't control your urges to try and suck off a guy that clearly, to help someone stop smoking. but you wanted to smoke his skin pole.
Oh man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, playing the part of Paul today, please give it up for JR Reads the News.
You know what? I'm going to do this differently because I'm not Paul. We're going to do News of the Weird instead. News of the Weird. All right. So, a man was rescued from a hole he dug on a beach after it collapsed on him. What? They had to dig him out because the sand fell on him and they had to call rescue services to do so. Is dying by sand suffocation the worst way to die?
Yeah, that or fire.
And whatever happened to quicksand?
avoidable.
Whatever happened to when I was a
gone.
kid, quicksand was the scariest thing I'd ever thought about.
Bro,
Like,
we grew up in a metropolitan area, deathly afraid of quicksand.
so afraid of quicksand. Like there was
It
nothing.
killed-
It killed
It
everybody.
killed Atrax. It killed Atrax in the tree of his horse.
Dude, every time my friends and I played cops and robbers or whatever, the biggest threat to us was not a bad guy. It was that it was quicksand, and then the bad guy would get us.
If I saw a 4-foot diameter of dirt, bro, I'd be like, I'm not stepping right there. Hell
Really?
no.
I never grew up with that fear.
Dude, let me tell you two things I was scared of growing up. Killer bees.
Okay.
I was scared of killer bees and quicksand.
Quicksand, yes, quicksand. I was terrified of quicksand as a child. Like
By the
anytime
way-
there were like new development areas in my neighborhood, and so there was like a lot of dirt. We were always on the lookout riding our bikes to like make sure there's no quicksand around here.
Now, I guess maybe it would be cooler if there was more prevalent, like how crabgrass is, or like
Right.
gravel.
I've never
There is,
seen quicksand in my life.
5 acres of quicksand. It'd be insane.
I've never
I
seen.
literally just Googled and then I put QUI, and the first thing that came up was, is quicksand real? Where does quicksand exist? Quicksand can be found in places where there is grainy soils, including riverbanks, marshes. So it's not real. It's your feet sink down like 2 feet.
your just feet sink down. But man, I was afraid I would be buried in quicksand. And then
So
when
this
I saw
guy-
this, I did like my kids do. When we go to the beach, the first thing my son does is get buried in sand with just his head sticking out. But this guy dug a
tell him
hole
about
for his whole
quicksand.
body and everything. Like he was fully buried.
That's crazy, man.
A grown man did that.
How deep was he?
They did not say. They just said it required rescue services to be called to get him out.
Which is normally if there's a hunchback whale blown up on the beach. That's when you rescue services. They had to
I bet it
rescue
was the
this
guy. I bet it was the guy who was pretending to be Latrell Sprewell.
That's exactly what it was.
That's for sure.
That's
For
what
sure.
it was. Next story. I don't know if you guys saw this, but the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration for our United States government, they had to tweet, "You are not a horse. You are not a cow. Seriously, y'all, stop it." And the reason is because people who were getting sick with COVID were going to like Tractor Supply and taking
getting
ivermectin,
dewormers.
which is something you give a cow to deworm it. And that they had this, that they thought this would be the way to fix it. And this is further evidence that people aren't smart.
Well, ivermectin is in horse dewormer, right? It's not like
It's like
if you take straight up ivermectin, it's not really going to hurt you. But you should not be taking horse dewormer or cow dewormer or injecting bleach in your body or any other thing.
You are not a horse. You are not a cow. Stop it. When the FDA has to tweet that,
they must have hired the guy from Wendy's for just like one
That
tweet.
means,
Like,
like,
hey man, how much for one tweet?
too many people have like, that's not like a thing that like, if one person does it, you're like, oh, well, that's just one guy. That means multiple people are doing it, and then they're having to be treated.
Like bread and water and milk.
Yes.
Tractor Supply is running out of horse dewormer.
That is
Let
correct.
me ask you this though: if you're a centaur, what do you do?
To get dewormed?
Yeah.
Well,
are you listening to the
you
FDA?
take
Like, what are you
ivermectin
doing?
in as a suppository, and then you do
Right.
just your typical stuff like
Gotcha.
some Sudafed through your mouth.
Yeah.
That's
Gotcha.
cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Right.
Pretty
What an
cool.
awesome.
How about that? That's really all the news of the weird that I cared to share today. Although I did want to say that I did have a new addition. I should have told you this outside of a podcast, Zach, but a new addition to your fake album titles or song titles. I can't remember which list you have, but I learned one not long ago called "Finger Wet by Sunset."
That's good. Finger Wet by Sunset's good.
That's
was
the
me
new
on
AM
beach.
title.
That was me on the beach at Destin, Florida on vacation when I was a teenager. That was the goal every night, dude.
With the
And I wasn't
hypnotist there.
catching crabs. Well, not that kind anyway.
That's exactly right. So next time when you go into a songwriting session, you're like, guys, I've got it. Just here's our title.
Speaking
See if we can
of
get around this.
Finger Wet by Sunset, ladies and gentlemen. Here's Kent with the movie of the week.
There goes Kent, reading movies. Gonna talk about touching boobies.
Tonight on Channel 599 Hustler TV, you're in luck, everybody, because we have MILF's Raw Sex with Hung French Stud. That's MILF's Raw Sex with Hung French Stud. And the description to this fine piece of cinema is stunning MILFs are addicted to Manuel's girthy shaft. He tongues their tight honeypots, getting them wet before spreading their lips with his member. That's MILF's Raw Sex with Hung French Stud on Hustler TV, channel 599 for $11.99.
That is a lot.
That hypnotist dream is still bothering me. I don't know why.
Oh, man.
I don't. That's just a weird setup, dude.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Thank you. Playing Paul today was J.R. Moore. Give it up for him. Tune in to J.R. Moore's Facebook every Monday night or almost every Monday night for a Monday night concert series. We will also, there are 2 AM shows coming up this weekend. If you're around, we're going to be in Kansas City on the 28th at the Tiblo Days Festival. And on the 29th, we are going to be in Fort Smith, Arkansas.
You're in Tupelo.
Tiblo.
Oh, damn
We're
it.
in Kansas City.
I need to hear you guys play Tupelo in Tupelo. I will suck off hypnotist then if I hear that.
And we are in Kansas City at the Tiblo's Day Festival on the 28th, and we are in Fort Smith, Arkansas at Temple Live, where we played with Smith and Myers. We're playing the small room. We went and had that really good Mexican food on the day off, John.
Great idea.
So we're there on the 29th. So if you want to come out and see Alan Mac Myers and more, come out. And thank you. This has been episode 23. If you have any advice, anything you'd like to ask us, dreams, email us at suplifeadvice@gmail.com. John?
suplifeadvice@gmail.com.
JR, what's the email?
suplifeadvice@gmail.com.
JR's the one that has to put it in here in the little clicker thing anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So
I did this right here. I did that.
yeah. He did that right
did
there.
that.
Anyway, this
It
is
would be funny if when Jared edits this, he just puts like a moving kind of still picture of like Paul, but it's his voice, Jared's voice talking with like weird subtitles.
Almost
He's
like King, was it King Kong or Godzilla, where it's the mouth doesn't match up, but it's
the mouth
just
doesn't match up at all. Or any Bruce Lee movie. Yeah.
an old podcast.
he's laughing and it doesn't
Paul
line.
sitting there in
The
the
laughs
vest.
don't line up.
Just literally take an hour and 27 minutes of Paul podcasting and you just put your voice over it. Make it not line up at all.
Yeah, it's perfect.
That would be genius.
I might do
All
that.
This has been episode 23, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week, you nerds.
Later.
Later.